Oh, bother.
We are finally back today to talk about some Invincible. Now, unless you've been living under a rock like you're Patrick or something, you would know that Invincible just went through its mid-season finale. And after the first episode, they dropped 3 bangers, back to back to back like MJ. And if you missed out on any of it, I'm here to catch you up to speed. So kick back and hit the Benjamin, grab a little drink, pour a little schmack, and without further ado, I present Invincible Season 2 so far. We're picking up from episode 2, by the way, so if you haven't seen episode 1 or my video about episode 1, you should go ahead and check those out anyway. But it starts off with everybody graduating like it's High School Musical 3, and they got this motherfucker Carl Winslow, and no, that's not racist, his name is Principal Winslow, and he's voiced by the real Carl Winslow, and the school is named after him. But Mark ain't there yet, he's dealing with this side quest ass villain, Doc Seismic, and Mark is just trying to pack this dude up and go about his day. He's like, alright dude, just give it up already, we all know you're trash and you kinda look like Elmer Fudd, and I got places to be, so let's go. I don't know why the fuck I just made Mark sound so zesty like that, but Doc Seismic's like, wouldn't be too sure about that. I will not be caught lacking this time. I've been practicing my summoning jutsu. So he starts to summon all his Magmites, which are essentially Magmars mixed with Geodude. And Doc Seismic starts stomping the yard on the Washington Monument, trying to push underground on some Drag Me to Hell. And amidst all this, Invincible is doing what Invincible does best, getting his ass whooped and jumped. I mean, I thought Viltrumites was supposed to have some kind of Zenkai boost or something. But anyway, after getting humiliated like that, Mark does eventually dumpster them, and then he hits Doc Seismic with the meanest Shoryuken of all time, and it sends him flying. Seismic is left looking up at the lights, and Mark makes it to his graduation just at the last minute. Meanwhile, we get a peek at NASA, and they're arguing about a botched mission to Mars where they barely got out. This is that same crew from season 1 that went to Mars and came back. You know, after Mark bailed them out, of course. So dude is saying that they gotta get rid of the butt-ugly Martians, but the Ya Mean Thing astronaut is against starting a war. So the director asked this dude Livingston what he thinks, but he started tweaking out and dipped. They start hypothesizing that he's off the leaky Delta 9 car and he's tweaking out. But we get into a glimpse in a bathroom, and it turns out that this dude is actually a Martian on some secret invasion. This man is moving around like a super scroll, and this dude has no composure, like he just ripped the blinker at work. So the director goes into the bathroom to check up on him, and he immediately hits the ground and starts groveling like, please man, please don't kill me, I swear to God, I'm not no alien. But the director cuts him off and tells him that he's suspended for now until he figures all this shit out, and he also wants his connect on the Delta 9. So back at Guardians HQ, the Immortal is putting them through boot camp on some major pain type shit, and Rex is like, man, this training bull, I'd rather be trash. So the Immortal gets right in his ass like, hey yo, pause.
What do you mean by that?
That is not what I meant to say. What I meant was gets on his ass like a drill sergeant. He also beats him out by taking his right in front of her and beating her doonies down in the shower. Nah, this is out of pocket. Hashtag pray for Rex. First he got cooked by Bulletproof, and now this? Oh nah, he can't catch a break. Dude is taking more L's than Vegeta. So Cecil sends Mark to this place called Midnight City. Basically a fake ass Gotham that was created by Edgar Allan Poe. He's here to investigate an alleged sighting of Darkwing, one of the heroes that was killed by Omni-Man. So apparently this part of the city has been cursed, which has led to it being abandoned since 02. Like imagine being a kid in 02 on your way to go see the Scooby-Doo live action movie, and you already know you're hitting Blockbuster right after for some games, but then a WandaVision dome take your stupid ass out. So he gets in the city and it's every god's wet dream. Perpetual darkness and everything terrible. He eventually catches up to the fake ass Darkwing, and it's not really him by the way, it's his old sidekick. But this dude actually has some hacks on him. First of all, he's got this exoskeleton Dark Knight Return suit on him so he can actually throw hands with Mark for a second. And on top of that, this dude literally has Kamui like he's Obito or something. Obviously he gets to spamming his move knowing he can't really fight with Mark, but it really doesn't take more than 2 minutes for Mark to totally boot this dude out. And then once he does, he gives him a crazy ass judo chop. Like this dude was sorry from the beginning. He dead ass took him out with one shot like Austin Powers. But then Mark goes back to back on missions like he's dissing Meek Mill and meets up with Cecil again. He informs him that he needs to deal with the Atlanteans. See, Omni-Man killed the bootleg ass Aquaman, but since he's gone, it's Mark's responsibility to atone an Atlantean custom. If they don't, they threaten to take out the entire eastern seaboard. Meanwhile, this lame ass group called the Lizard League are fighting the Guardians of the Globe, and we meet a new hero, the Shapesmith. But I'm not gonna lie, this is actually the undercover Martian, Russ, or Gus? So Atlantis, Atlantia, whatever. Mark is being greeted by the Queen and her people, but apparently this whole was a setup. See, apparently he was under the impression that he was gonna have to take the Queen's hand in marriage, but instead he's being challenged to mortal combat, and he must pass a trial like Heracles. So the Queen reveals Mark's combatant, and it's this cute little cuddly wuddly little seahorse. But Mark is sitting there mad confused like, bro, you you got me fighting a Seedra or something? I mean, what's going on here? I mean, it'll be light work at the very least, I guess. So he swims over there and starts rustling and wrangling this thing, throwing it in a headlock, and only for it to be revealed that he's got to fight this big, ugly-ass Rancor look him up. So Mark has to squabble in his kaiju like it's Pacific Rim. But shocker, wouldn't you know he's getting his ass kicked. Bro needs a different superhero name than Invincible. So Cecil presses the bailout button and sends missile megs over to help out Mark. But this actually ends up freeing a monster, and he starts turning the people of Atlantia into Poke Nachos. But Mark, being the good-spirited hero that he is, goes back to help the Atlanteans. He punishes the shit out of Goreback, but he gets dragged into the abyss with him. But eventually Mark washes up on shore, and he's all good. And we also get a glimpse of Shea Smith being introduced to Guardians HQ, and he gives us this fake-ass backstory with the story hinting at where he actually came from. But a little bit later, King Lizard makes his grand return to smoke up the Supreme Lizard with Blick, putting this man inside of a game leaf and taking his organization back over. We also get to see Angstrom in another universe where Mark and Omni-Man were defeated. He tricks this universe's Mark into telling him how it happened. After that, he takes his chips and runs. Mark gets dropped off to his first day of college, ready for his new chapter in life on some Asheroth timing. A little later, it cuts to Alan the Alien, the guy from the first season who came to Earth by mistake. He's speaking to this intergalactic council that was formed to stop the Viltrum Empire from conquering planets. He fills them in, pause, but he explains to them that Mark is on their side. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. But the council are not buying anything that Alan is saying. They're basically on some if one of them is bad, is all of them is bad for the Viltrumites. But Alan responds quick like,
"Okay, dog head, bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker."
But this dude, Big Thaddeus, essentially Odin voiced by Optimus Prime, he gives Alan the cosign and pats him on the back for a good job. A little after the meeting, the Allfather reveals he thinks there's an imposter among us, and he's relying on Alan to suss him out and report any signs of treachery in the council. So a little bit later at his crib, after he takes the Avatar-looking Yamin thing to Pound Town, he takes her to the intergalactic cheesecake, but their date gets crashed by a group of Viltrumites. And as he's getting dragged out of the restaurant, this man Alan is shitting his pants. He looks like he's ready to meet Jesus, Allah, Yahweh, the flying spaghetti monster, whoever up there. Like all he can think is,
damn, he really about to rock my shit.
So they get a couple sucker punches in on him and start pressing him like, tell us where the f*** Omni-Man's at or we'll kill your Cyclops Finding Nemo looking ass. But Alan responds immediately like, oh, we trying to roast? I know you not talking, looking like Rapunzel on menopause. We all know it as we stop lying. So refusing to give them any info because Alan ain't no rat, the PC principal looking Viltrumite instantaneously transmissions over to Alan and punches him in the gut. That might be a pause. But then Alan's like, okay, you gonna sneak me because you got fake ass buffs on? So they keep trying to press this man Alan, but he is standing on business, 10 toes down. He live life on murder. So they hit Alan again, and then Alan's like, oh hell no, now I'm getting smacked by Ronnie Coleman mixed with Biscuit Oliver mixed with Carl Winslow. But eventually they get tired of him not talking, and they start jumping the out of Alan. And I mean really bad and disrespectfully, like Android 17 and 18 levels of jumping. And I am not gonna lie, they are punching this man Alan around like a goddamn pinball machine. I'm not gonna cap to you, this man did not stand a chance, and worst of all, he got beat up in front of his shorty too. Eventually they do Alan so dirty, he looks like a Picasso painting after they're through with him. So he's not officially toe tagged yet, but he's in the DBZ recovery tank. So Datus comes in to chop it up with what's her name and says he'll watch over Alan. And by watch over him, he means put him inside of a Dutch master. Looks like we found our imposter. Really be your own for real. Later that night, Mark is visited at his dorm by Seance Dog, a comic book character and his favorite childhood hero. He's not real, which leads Mark to become sketched out. He reveals that he's from another dimension, but Mark don't like what he hears, so he Super Mario back throws him into the woods and demands answers. It's revealed that he's actually an alien named Nualzot. I'm gonna call him Nuzlocke. Came searching for Mark to protect his people from an apocalypse. Cecil gives him a direct order not to go, but he disobeys and goes along with Nuzlocke anyway. Upon arriving to the bug world, he finds out very quickly that the apocalypse was all cap. He's there for a different reason, but Nuzlocke explains that all will be understood once he finally meets their leader. And who might their leader be, you ask? Yup, you guessed it, a giant bug. Holy, is that Omni-Man?
Omni-Man.
Now, before we talk about how this dude thinks he's Ego from Guardians 2, we gotta talk about how the hell he ended up there in the first place. So Omni-Man is in his true sad hours. He is down horrendously amid betraying the Earth and giving his son a knuckle hoagie. So apparently he saved these Thrax jobbers from dying in a wormhole, and he drops them off home and is like, alright, well, I'ma head out. But he's actually asked to stay by the people of the planet. So it transitions to present day, and Mark and Nolan start having a staring contest. But Mark putting the true definition of his name to the test by literally marking himself out and hugging this dude Omni-Man. Like, boy, if you don't. But Omni-Man starts trying to pull the whole bro, come on, you know I fucked up. I wasn't trying to do none. You know how I be when I ain't got no weed. And Mark really ain't trying to hear none of it at first, but Omni-Man is pussyfooting around it, and he eventually succumbs to being pestered. So wouldn't you know, this dude don't only rule the whole civilization, but he's beating down alien Doonies too.
Hell no.
I told you this man thinks he's Ego from Guardians 2. This dude Omni-Man is out of pocket. This is when he reveals to Mark that he has a little brother that he made with one of the ladybugs. And this looks like a I love you, you love me ass Barney baby ass. Meanwhile, the Mauler twins are in their dingy ass saw warehouse and a new set of Mauler twins are being 3D printed. But shit ain't gonna be the same this time around, cause ugly ass Geodude face ass Mauler was like, yo, you weak ass clone. It ain't no more Mauler twins. Big Mauler brand, you know what I'm saying? Getting real wicked around for your ass in a couple minutes. So back on the bug planet, Mark is cutting into his dad about starting this whole new life, but Omni-Man starts breaking it down that the Viltrumites are gonna figure out that he left Earth. And once the Viltrumites find this planet, they're gonna turn the whole thing into a Timon and Pumbaa smorgasbord, along with his magenta ass baby. So Omni-Man pleads for them to click up and stop them, but Mark said, bro, are you stupid? I'm not helping your ass. You wanna be a deadbeat and start a whole new life and family? That's on you. But before he can agree to help, the Viltrumites start crashing down like General Zod and them in Man of Steel. Omni-Man gets ready to squabble them while Mark takes his wife and son out of harm's way. So he takes them to this place called the Cave of Recluse, basically a panic room for this exact situation. And by panic room, I really mean a room that is about to have panic in it, cause tell me how this big ass dude Lucan comes crashing in, found them immediately like he had a Warzone bounty or something. And freeze frame on this dude real quick, cause he really looks like Biscuit Oliver from Baki with a porno stash. I'm just saying, he built like that with that big ass beer belly. Motherfucker just skipped cardio. This man thinks he's Ronnie Coleman. Okay, let me chill. Brolic ass Wayne Brady. Okay, let me chill. So them two get to squabbling, and Mark, as per usual, is getting dog walked with one finger too. Pause on that. But Omni-Man bails out Mark and starts fighting Ronnie and does him like a shish kebab, unaliving him in the process. Once they get back outside, they see that the Viltrumites have ran a sweep on the people, and Omni-Man starts having an existential crisis. Kinda like Majin Vegeta. He wishes he could be a cold-blooded killer just like he was raised to be. However, he cares too much about these Thrax people. So shortly after, the Viltrumites pull up, posed up, swearing to God that they are in an edit. They talk some shit and the 2v2 commences. And Nolan is putting some serious pain in. He's landing a lot of good hits on them, but Mark is, you know, getting his ass whooped. So I'm not gonna lie, this is really like a 2v1. So Omni-Man and Mark get into a huddle and he breaks it down like, bro, you need to lock in and we have to smoke these dudes or else we are going to get put inside of a game leaf. I am not gonna lie to you. But Mark is just looking at Omni-Man like,
I've never murdered anyone in my life.
But Omni is like, man, that weak ass shit. If you don't, this entire planet is gonna fall like Reach, like Namek. We can't let that shit happen. So they break into the 2v2 again, and Mark is getting sliced like a loaf of Wonder Bread, but he really gets in his bag with Dula right here. He gives her the ultimate Yaga, and no lie, after that, it just goes into a montage of them punishing the out of each other. And this is just a classic For Honor situation. You take care of your guy, but the homie is one shot again, so you gotta mop his body. Pause. But after they think the day has been saved, big ass Lucan does the meanest Mario Ultra jump onto this man's spinal cord. After Lucan gets his lick back, they both fall. So the Viltrum Empire shows up and Lucan gets extracted and they capture Omni-Man. But on the way out, Omni-Man tells Mark, yo, read my books because I'm still getting royalty checks from them shits. And then it cuts to Mark like, what the I'm probably about to get smoked by these Viltrumites. And if I don't, I'm gonna just bleed out, man. And plus my mom probably already throwing them shits out anyway. I don't know that for a fact. I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall, but still. So anyway, he gets confronted by this dude, General Krieg. And guess who's making his grand return to the channel? Yup, that's right. Clancy Brown, aka Mr. Krabs, baby. Golden Boy couldn't keep him in that seafood boil forever. So Mr. Krabs breaks down that we're going to be executing Omni-Man, me boy. I'm going to be making ye my new fry cook for minimum wage, of course. So now Mark is being tasked with taking over Earth for the Viltrum Empire, and if he doesn't, they'll do it themselves. Oh yeah, and to close us out, we see the Big Mauler and Lil Mauler working on a machine so that the Big Mauler can have a whole Mauler twin army. Try saying that 5 times fast. But the Little Mauler is tired of being pooped out by the Big Mauler, so he laces his AMIRITE with Clorox and poisons his ass. And that brings us to the end of Invincible Season 2 so far. In my opinion, this has been a super solid first half of the season. Episode 2 was kinda fillerish, but it was setting up other things in the future. I think we all can agree the most hype shit is the Viltrumites finally showing up. We've only seen Mark and Omni-Man up to this season, and it's sick to finally see some new ones and understand what they're actually capable of. And also, just a quick aside, I want to say they actually really stepped up the animation this season too. I didn't notice it as much as I did after the first episode, so I kinda just wanted to shout that out. Also, top tier voice acting, a perfect mix of veterans and celebrity actors who actually know how to voice act. I mean, come on, Optimus Prime and Mr. Krabs in the same cartoon? Genius. Chef's kiss. Marissimo, it's my mama's recipe. I'm bummed that we gotta wait a couple weeks for a new episode, but I'm still hyped that there's good TV on the way. I mean, shit, we know Amazon is 1 for 2 on their superhero shows. The Guardians are around too. They're kinda jobbers though, to be honest. They're really taking a backseat this season. Eve is trying to find herself and whatever, but it's really not that important compared to everything else. I'm sure they'll be more prevalent once other conflicts arise on Earth, and I can't wait to see what's gonna come out of this whole plot line with Mark having to report to the Viltrum Empire. And will Omni-Man actually get executed? And what about his California raisin looking ass brother? And Shapesmith is still low-key an alien, and where the fuck is Battle Beast? Hopefully we'll get the answer to those questions and many, many more once Invincible returns, whenever that is. If you made it this far into the video, thank you, we're locked in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're coming up on the end of the year and I still got a couple more videos planned, and you guys are not gonna wanna miss that one, especially if you like this video. But other than that, that's all I got for today. This is Dookie TV, signing off.